Hello everyone, so this is DisturbingPuppet back again for some more Blood Bowl 2. It's a little bit later than I usually go in here, but hopefully some people will be on and maybe check it out. Continuing my games here with my Chaos Dwarf team. This will be the last game of the regular season. I thought the last game was the last game, but actually this game will be the last game of the regular season before the playoffs. So again, playing with my Chaos Dwarf team. Next up will be Undead. So kind of go over both teams. We can check them out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
So I've got a couple of Bull Centaurs, one of whom has an injury that's reduced his movement allowance by 1. He does have block. Both of my Bull Centaurs have upgraded so that they have block. Then I've got 4 Hobgoblins here that have each received at least 1 upgrade. My best player here has Dodge, Sure Hands, and Kickoff Return. Kickoff Return was the most recent addition. For the Dodge, you need to actually roll doubles when you level up in order to get that. So I have a couple players that have Dodge. Most of them just have Sure Hands. So as you can see, I've got Sure Hands and an additional movement allowance here with this guy, up to 7, which would be pretty helpful. Then Dodge and Sure Hands here, Sure Hands. And then I've got 2 Hobgoblins I've added more recently that haven't received any upgrades at all. Then I've got the maximum of the 6 Chaos Dwarf blockers. So a couple of them have additional skills. All of them at least have guard at this point. That's the first thing I grabbed with all of them. This player I've leveled up and gotten Mighty Blow. This player also Mighty Blow. And then this player I have Dauntless. Kind of help me deal with those higher strength guys that might be on the front line.
I'm getting bored, Jim. You know I have the attention span.
And my opponents here, the Undead, I haven't played in a while, so we'll see what kind of upgrades he's got. Last time I played them, they did kind of beat me up a little bit. So we've got a higher strength white here. That's a little dangerous. Higher movement mummy, not that big of a deal. The mummies are a little difficult because they're 5 strength to deal with. I am an old board game Blood Bowl player from 2nd edition, and I played Undead there, so I'm pretty familiar with the Undead teams and how they work. I am playing a Chaos Dwarf team, which is typically kind of bruiser-ish, but the Undead can definitely beat me up pretty badly. They've got quite a few guys with guard here as well, which is definitely something to consider and keep in mind. Might be something that'll make things a little bit more difficult here and there. Take a look at his ghouls and see sidestep. Sprint. Yeah, some of the skeletons with block and guard. Nothing too crazy or unusual. This might be a little bit tough because with this team, usually kind of beat people up and work my way into the end zone. This team I'm facing here could definitely beat me up. And their team rating is quite a bit lower than mine, which means they're going to have all kinds of extra money for star players or Halfling Master Chef to steal my rerolls, things like that. So that'll be a little bit of a mess. So this could be a tough match, actually. So let me just quickly take a look here and see if everything's working. Everything looks good.
You have a fan club?
Have you looked at it, Jim?
So I guess we'll just start. I'm a little worried. We'll see what happens.
We can launch the game.
So he's taking the Halfling Master Chef and Ali Badab. If I can see who that is before I run out of time here.
Are you ready, Bob?
Well, we'll see him when he's on the field.
Ready, Jim.
So this is one of those games that I just kind of, if I'm playing it, I figure I might as well stream it. So that's kind of what I've been doing. This is probably my 5th stream, I think. We'll see with the next one, with things going with the playoffs. I might, depending on my timing of how it goes, do both the games back to back. We'll see.
That smell. No doubt there is a Halfling Master Chef here.
I'm liking the ratings. This team has the advantage.
I'm just using the microphone on my laptop, so hopefully it works out okay. I've kind of double-checked stuff afterwards when I've uploaded things, and they typically seem to be all right. But if the sound seems off, the game sound is way too high, something like that, let me know in the chat. I'll check that occasionally. I do have to tab out of the game to look at that, but I try to check occasionally. I have mostly played kind of bruiser teams, but I did really enjoy the previous Blood Bowl game, which I had on my 360. I was always surprised some of the more agile teams. I had a lot of fun playing them, like the Wood Elves. I was so used to just beating people up that when I played the Wood Elves, it was just kind of amazing what I could do in a turn.
The undead are the kings of
So he's
new
stealing 2 of my
generation.
rerolls. So kicking team does sit up first. I'm kicking. So there's a couple ways you can approach this with a bruiser team, is that you could try to have as few people on the front line as possible to have as few of you guys getting hurt, or you can try to sort of fight them. And at least for now, I'm going to try to fight them, and we'll see how it goes. That might be a bad choice, but we'll see. Put my Mighty Beloved guys and Dauntless guys in the middle here. Setup is very important, whether it's offense or defense. So it's nice to have a decent amount of time to kind of check that over, see what your opponent's doing. Take a look at his star player here as well. So regeneration, secret weapon. I don't see a weapon on him. Must be stab. So just like the assassins for the Dark Elves. Block and jump up and pass block. Okay, it's not too super dangerous, I hope. We'll find out, I guess. I'm going to set up in a little bit of an odd positioning here. I don't want it to make it too easy for him to kind of gang up on my guys on the edge and then get assists and sort of roll down the line. So I'm going to put my stronger strength bull centaurs out here as well, make that a little bit more difficult right on the line instead of having them back. I'll probably put my less experienced hobgoblins out here. I want them to get experience, possibly get some star player points. And I might leave my one guy out here that's got sure hands and the increased movement, just because that's really, really nice and useful. This sort of bow type formation is what I often do, although I'll often have
There's going to be any action at
this
all.
position one back and then
I'd
this
like to see
side
something happen.
even further back.
Or I'm just going to go and watch Game of Gnomes instead.
Typically want to keep somebody back deep just in case things go bad. Especially with a Dwarf or Chaos Dwarf team, you have such slow movement that you really kind of have to pay attention to what's going on and anticipate your moves, not overcommit to one side or the other. Call that good for setup. Did he not put his mummies on the front line? That's super weird. Okay. I typically do sort of kick for the central position where it marks unless there's somebody super dangerous there. Basically, I just want the ball to end up on the field. I don't want it to end up kicked off because then he can pick who gets it. There's no die rolls involved. If it's on the field, then he has to at least make a die roll to pick it up. It's all about kind of managing those die rolls and risk. He does have a lot of extra guys here, too. Very strange the mummies being in the back there. I don't think I've ever seen an undead team do that before.
Do you miss the old days?
Good, stab failure.
Yeah, Bob.
Not really, Jim. A lot more rules in them days. You couldn't just walk into the crowd on a murderous rampage. No, you had to ask permission. Fill out a fight. Wait, what? Ugh, makes the blood boil.
Okay, I'll use his first reroll. Just blitzing around the side here. Okay. So before I take the turn, let me just quickly tab out, check everything's working. Okay, looks good. So we typically want to do the safe things first. That's sort of a typical Blood Bowl thing, then important stuff. I might even be able to reach the ball carrier here, yeah. So I'll kind of do my free movement here. I'll have him just stand up. You can blitz with someone who starts on the ground. So that's always something you can consider. Just kind of looking at assists already for where I can throw blocks and things. Where do I want to move my dwarf back here? What I'm planning to do is have the bull centaur take a blitz and hit the ball carrier. Just looking if there's anything else I want to do before I try for that. With a team that's good at beating people up, it's not too bad of an idea to throw some blocks, do some damage if you can. But I want to sort of secure the line here, so at least he has to make rolls to get through the tackle zones. Actually just going to move him up into this area so that there are some tackle zones covering the area. And I'll have to make a couple going for it rolls here. This is my slower movement guy, actually.
Hey, who knows the rules for...
Actually, I have to go for it 3 times to hit him. So that's a little dangerous. He does have sure feet. So we can kind of go through one step at a time and see. Okay. Okay, haven't had to use sure feet yet, so relatively safe.
Especially if the ball holder goes down.
He does have dodge, so no matter what I do, this is a push.
Twinkle toes there.
But it does mean I'm threatening the ball. He does have a mummy here, he can kind of deal with that a little bit. He should be able to dodge out of there pretty easily, though. I do have kind of the area covered with some tackle zones, so now I'm just looking at throwing blocks. Here we'll go after the increased strength white. We both have block. Kind of shove him towards the sidelines. Maybe I'll be able to knock him off the field. So I'm going to use a Mighty Blow player against the star player. And I'll just stay put. I want to keep the line here intact. Both that block, not much.
Dead fish? Put some force behind those punches.
There's somebody going down. And I'm actually going to stay right where I'm at. I want to maintain the line as much as I can. I could move my Hobgoblin on the side here up, but I think for right now I'm going to leave him sort of covering this area so we have tackle zone coverage all the way across the field. At least has to make dodge rolls to get through there. I'd like to actually stay away from the mummies. They're pretty dangerous even for my guys with guard if I can pile up on them. Blitzed by a mummy.
Haha, here's some friends. Loosen and let the pretty little dove. I mean the ball carrier, go.
So now moving the mummy into the line. Using up those rerolls.
Guys, clues in the title. Let's see some blood and
Actually throwing a block there, that's pretty aggressive. Wow. Save things first, I guess. I'm actually tempted just to not even get him up, just get pounded down by the mummy again. He doesn't really have much skill to get away from him. Yeah, I don't have a lot of good angles there. Let's see if I can roll things over from this direction. So at this point it's a straight up roll. But I can move another dwarf over and have another assist since I've got guard. It does leave a little bit of a gap here though. But if I'm successful and take the mummy down, then I can blitz with this player on the ball carrier.
Unity is strength.
I admire that. It paid off. Good old number.
So what I'll do is kind of shift guys down. I don't want to actually be adjacent to anybody. Just so that's sort of covered in the middle there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and blitz even though it's a one die. Because I've got block and tackle.
I love it when that happens.
I've got the assist. Yeah, his dodge doesn't help him because I've got tackle. With the position he's moving to, we'll stay there, see where the ball ends up. Oh, he ends up with the ball, okay. That's not what I expected. So we can knock this guy free, and we can push this guy over. Both are pretty good options. We'll start moving down the field, I guess, if we can. So now that I have the ball, I am actually going to stand him up just because I want to keep this mummy busy. I don't really want him moving over. Since he has the 4 movement, he could actually get in a position where he could do some damage in the direction I want to go with the ball. Not a whole lot I can do here with this guy. I may pull him back just in case things go badly. The other option could be to move down, which might possibly draw some of the enemy players away if you're in range of the end zone, or try to loop around or cut through to provide some assistance back here if possible. I don't really have good blocks here. It's higher strength. I've got a straight up block I could do with a hobgoblin versus a ghoul. I haven't used a reroll. It's not super dangerous, but I'd rather have both of them here on their feet just in case. So we'll go with that.
Those players are very close. Smells like a fight is about to happen.
So most of his team is pretty slow as well, so he's going to be looking at how he can get guys in my way. Unfortunately, with a dwarf carrying the ball, I may not be able to really move it very quickly.
You need balls to score.
So luckily I stay on my feet there.
Highlight who gets hit next.
Hopefully no injuries. I do have pretty good armor, so it's not super likely, but he does have Mighty Blow. And so he was just kind of freeing up his ghoul there. So I'm actually going to move him on here just to cover the ghoul, just in case. Move him up to provide some assists. Try to clear a path here if we can.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich. He won't leave him alone anytime soon. That's
Yeah,
it.
so gonna
Throw the ball.
grinding our way down the field
That
here.
range, they'll go down as if you were flinging a brick into their jaw.
A little air for the ball carrier.
Unfortunately, that's what he's also good at, is grinding his way through my guys down the field.
There's two big guys.
Actually going for the ghoul here because I might want to try to do some injuries if possible. I'm going to stay right where I'm at.
For the ball carrier.
No injury, it's too bad. Those higher strength white here have some additional protection for the ball carrier.
Ball less secure.
Just kind of building a cage around the ball carrier. Go ahead and have him stand up again. Yeah, they'll just get knocked around again. And I'm actually going to leave him here to sort of tie up the white. You can tie up guys away from your ball carrier where you're trying to progress if you can. Mummy might be difficult to deal with. I'm actually surprised they didn't blitz with him. Good thing the stab failed, that's nice. Just getting pushes on the ball carrier, that's really nice.
Aim for the ball carrier. Take them down. He's lost the ball from that loser. They're in with a chance of turning this back
Let's see
on.
where the ball ends up going. Kind of right in the middle of everything. Alright, good for me. Well, this is a little bit of a mess. Because of his guard ability, it's making things a little difficult here. It's a lot of one-die blocks. Try advancing things out on the edge here.
Likes to be well assisted in a fight.
Yeah, block. Yeah, he's got block.
That player is so close to a world of hurt.
Yeah, a lot of these one-die blocks, unfortunately. Just do what I can.
Good call. Intimidation is the key. It was one of my strengths when I was still playing.
They just got owned. That's what the cool kids are saying these days, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot I can do, just throwing blocks where I can. Stay next to the ball here. This mummy is really causing me some problems. Go after his potential ball carriers here.
Big goons that get together
And double attacker down, that's not good. Just a push. Just trying to get the ball. No luck. No luck. No luck. No luck. Okay, it ends up out there. It's not a terrible position for me, actually. Guess we'll go ahead and stand him up since the ball's moving this direction. So I do have my hobgoblin here I could go for the ball with. I don't see a lot of other good options. So we'll see if we can pick it up.
The player's taking the ball, and the end zone is close.
Don't really have any super safe places to move with it, though. So I'll just kind of head out a little bit away from his guys. He's got a ghoul free. The white will be able to get up next turn. But I sort of have a lot of his guys trapped here, so if I can shift out the other way, might let me get things through. I can assist with my other hobgoblin now since I picked up the ball. My hobgoblin back here can throw a straight up roll if I want for a block. But I think I'd rather have him on his feet just in case that messes up. Keep his guys tangled up, tied down. A lot more difficult for them to do anything or get to the ball carrier. He's going to do a straight up die roll block here.
Can't argue with that. There's no harm in making a block on the ball carrier. Well, actually, you could do a lot of harm. That's kind of the point.
And with that mummy standing in there giving him guard, it does make things a lot more difficult for me, even though I've got a lot of guys with guard. A lot of beatings.
This player, the attacker.
Usually I can kind of beat up the opposing team and sort of pound on them on the ground, that kind of thing. But in this case, he's sort of beating me up. I at least have the option with the hobgoblins that I do have some players that are pretty quick and can move around. So I do have the option of just sort of angling around since he's slow when I'm faster. Maybe just go for the score, try not to do much else. And so many guys to stand up.
That's a holding maneuver, if ever I saw one.
So the important thing now is getting the guy off the ball carrier, if possible. So I'm actually going to go ahead and throw a block with my other hobgoblin here.
To be decisive.
Just to free him up.
It's a good move.
He actually has a 6 movement. So that makes him a little bit dangerous because he's totally free. Start running for the end zone. Try to get some distance. I can't get far enough away from the ghoul for it to really matter. As long as he can dodge out of there, he can still do another blitz. But we're limiting the number of his players he can get down there. He does have ghouls in a couple different positions where he could kind of go if he can dodge out. So I'm more concerned about the ghouls. So I'm going to throw a block against a ghoul here.
Two big guys is always
And all I do is move him closer. All I can really do with him is throw a block. I don't really want to risk throwing a one-off block here. I'd rather have my guy on his feet, make things more difficult for him. If he goes down, he's wide open for the white to come running down at my ball carrier. So we're just going to leave things in a giant mess for now.
The players arrive to assist their teammate.
And hopefully I can stay on my feet here.
They had to retreat a little. It was
Nope.
dangerous. It was time. Not far from
Ah!
I thought we might have one of those horrible
We'll go ahead and use the apothecary there. That does make things a lot more difficult for me.
Get up or get off the field.
Yeah, I still have my Dauntless guy here. It's a risk I could take to throw a block. That's a pretty risky thing to do. I don't have dodge here. I'd like to free up my other Hobgoblin if I could, but I don't really see a way to do that. Well, if I blitz from here, I'll have the assists to be able to go 2 dice.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
So he'll be free in case things go bad. I can then run him over next turn if I need to. My Bull Centaur might be able to get free here as well.
Come on, guys, together.
So now he'll be free. Start moving him towards the ball. Try to get adjacent to the ghoul here. It's not too dangerous, hopefully.
They're getting up close and personal, Bob.
You need to be close. So close they can smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
Throw blocks where I have advantage.
He's going to sleep, and maybe we will see him on the pitch later.
So I'm already in my 6th turn here. Possible I'll be able to get the ball and score. Not super likely, but it's possible. And we can still risk it with the Dauntless skill here. I think I'm going to. Okay.
That was risky.
That worked out. Do a straight up roll here, but I've got block and he doesn't. Of course, that's when you get attacker down. You've already used your reroll. Figures. I have made it a little harder for him to get the ball.
Never ceases to amaze me. That's a strike made with technique and precision. It's not about sheer muscle. Size.
One more step in.
I was hoping he wouldn't be able to take me down there. Fortunately, my hobgoblins are all kind of tied up. I'll move him out over as far as we can, just in case. Go ahead and blitz here and see if we can get the ball free.
They'll need to get rid of the ball now there's pressure on them. That's the way.
And we got an injury too, nice. Lost opponent's strength, that's pretty crappy. Let the ball go. I could just try to get the ball with that player. I don't really have anybody else except the Hobgoblin who's down. It's pretty risky. I do have one reroll left. Yeah, we'll go for it.
Missed that action.
Okay. And I'm actually going to go ahead and score. This gives me a level up as well.
Boom! Touchdown! Just before halftime.
He only has one turn left for his actions, and I've got two. So he's not going to be able to score even though I'm going to kick the ball to him. I'll have a couple turns where I can actually do something. So he'll be down a couple guys. I'm down nobody.
So, none of the knockout players seem to have awoken.
Oh, yep, and he loses a star player also.
That must be one heck of a dream they're having. Despite being in the lead, this team now has to kick the ball to the losing squad.
They'll want to get it back as soon as they can. Good boy. You've done a good job. Now go watch the end of the match from the bench.
Yeah, this was a fairly decent setup, I think. I don't have to worry too much about him scoring or anything. He did the same thing again, where he's not putting his mummies on the front line, which is very odd. So I can reset up any way I want. I'm fairly happy with the way I'm at. I'll just kind of add another guy to the line on the side just for the heck of it. This is his last turn. The AI will usually still try to get the ball.
The ball is in the player's
Human player would probably just ignore it, try to do some beats, knock some people around, throw some blocks.
If the player is pushed here, it will finish in the public. And in general, fans are much more dangerous than players.
Super aggressive block there. Pretty much never see a human opponent do that. AI does occasionally get very aggressive about rolling 2 dice even when you get to pick what the results will be. I often don't even do a one-off roll unless I have block and the opponent doesn't. So I just have this one turn. I'll just throw some blocks, see what kind of damage I can do. Maybe foul somebody if I have a foul opportunity.
That player is about to get punched above and below the belt at the same time.
He's on him now, like a halfling on a hot dinner.
Looking at who do I want to hurt, preferably. The white here with the increased strength is definitely a target. The ghouls are targets. Use my Mighty Blow guy against the ghoul.
Is about to get punched above and below the belt at the same time.
And a KO. This is really just a turn for me to hurt people, throw blocks, not much else.
I call that a tie.
Not getting too much there. Go after his ghoul and see if we can get an injury. Nope.
That's it. Force him back and then pow.
I could throw an even block with my Hobgoblin against his white, but it's for 1 die. He's got block and I don't. Kind of dangerous. I've got no rerolls. I don't really want him to get hurt. I don't have any fouling opportunities, so we're going to go ahead and call that the half.
I imagine that in their dreams.
Hey, thanks for the comments, New Kid 2. Just kind of looking at that during the halftime.
The ball to the
Try to check occasionally.
but they have to keep their heads because it'll be all
I lose 3 rerolls. So I'm receiving the kick now, so I set up second, and I also get to see everything my opponent's going to do as far as their setup. So he is really just slamming everybody he's got right on the front line. I'll bring out my more experienced Hobgoblins here. Just kind of moving around this very strange setup. I do have a kick return Hobgoblin, who should be out here somewhere. There we go. Since I do a kick return, I'll leave him just back here by himself. Normally I'd have a Hobgoblin on each end here so that I can go for pretty much no matter where it ends up landing.
Bit of a lull. What are you up to, Bob?
I'm thinking about what to have for lunch. Roast elf heart or baked halfling leg. Yummy.
Look at where he's got his guys positioned, what I want to do as far as offensive blocks. Since he's got no one out on the sides here, I can put myself right into position on the line, be able to throw more blocks, a little bit more free for my Hobgoblins to run. Just have the one guy deep for the ball. See if I can actually catch it as it comes down. Got one of those guys down. That's nice.
Yes, the unmistakable sign. The player's eyes rolling up into his head. He'll be out for some time.
Okay, we've got the ball on this side, so if I'm going to try to push things along as far as blocks and then additional assists, try to start from this end and kind of move my way down. The mummies are going to make that difficult. See what kind of damage we can do. Just throwing the dice where I have the advantage first. I'm going to move him down just as a possible distraction or possible something down the road if I need to have someone downfield to get an emergency score. It's not a bad idea to have someone in a position just in case. Things can go very badly sometimes, and you might need that, a couple extra squares that if you just moved somebody earlier, you would have had somebody downfield, you would have had a chance to score. It's better to have a chance to score than have no chance to score. So again, I could use my Dauntless here. I do only have 2 rerolls for the half, though, which is not great. Use my Mighty Blow guy on the skeleton first. That's not super helpful.
Look at all these players sitting down on the job. There'll be trouble with the unions if this carries on.
So before I would do that, I'll try to do some stuff with the ball. So he does have sure hands. Pretty good chance he'll get it. The ball without a problem. So I can move up into a position here where I'm fairly well protected, but with the mummies there, that might not last very long. Here may not be a bad position either. I'm just going to kind of run it out to the side here. It is tempting to hand it off to this hobgoblin and then have him just run it. But he does have his 2 ghouls and skeleton that could probably get on him. So I'll kind of leave him now here off to the side. A little bit of protection with him. If I can get the undead to commit to one side, most of their players are so slow that I could then shift back to the other and possibly be able to outrun them down the field. So we've got a straight up roll here. I'll take the risk, I guess.
Likes to be well assisted.
Both that block, so nothing. Should we try the Dauntless? Yeah, why not? That failed.
The attacker has an assist.
Well, we got him down.
Now that was a very risky, but it paid off.
So I still have my hobgoblin here. I'm actually going to move him up 1. We still have the coverage for the tackle zones for the whole area, getting to my ball carrier. I might need that additional movement later, so kind of moving up just a little bit. Still possible, like I said, yeah, he's going to at least send somebody over to cover my hobgoblin that's deep on the left. Actually send a couple guys over to my hobgoblin on the left. He's even going to blitz him.
Safety in numbers.
Jeremiah Cool always superior skills. That player is looking rather smug for remaining upright. Pride comes before a fall.
I'm just doing all these 1-die blocks. So I do have this dwarf free here. So I'll probably be using him to blitz to clear the way of the skeleton.
He's coming to help his buddy. That's gonna hurt. Fans are ravenous. Just one more step.
So I do have this Hobgoblin with the ball, has a lot of star player points already, whereas this one could use some more before another level up. I'd honestly rather have this Hobgoblin score than this one. So those things you kind of want to look at. Who do you want to level up? Since things are looking relatively safe for me on the side right now. And first, we'll just throw the block here.
Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
Free up another dwarf. I'm actually going to kind of shift him around so that when he gets up next turn, I've got more coverage. It makes it harder for him to get down this direction. So for right now, have him continue to carry the ball, have the other Hobgoblin sort of covering him. But at some point, I may want to go ahead and change the ball carrier just so I can get the other guy to possibly get the touchdown and get a level up. So I'm going to push the mummy out away from my guys here.
That's quite a mess. Even Siege struggled.
They're so slow, I'm not too concerned about them getting anywhere. It's going to threaten my ball carrier. And I still have the Dauntless I could try for there as well. I'll do this first. Maybe I can get my Bull Centaur free. Not.
Damn, that player just won't go down.
Use Bull Centaur.
Those two big guys is always better than one.
So I think we're in a pretty good position here. I'm not actually going to throw a block with the Dauntless guy this turn. It seems a bit risky when I've only got one reroll left.
Moved right next to a teammate.
So he's still leaving at least one guy over there on my other Hobgoblin, even though he's down. You can see he's got a lot of very slow guys to move around. It takes him a while to get him across the field, except for those ghouls.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. There, should be good.
It reminds me of the famous story of Nurgling and the Great Unclean.
Yeah, just every time the mummies block, I'm just, no injuries, no injuries. Come on, no injuries. Move further out so I'm just adjacent to the ghoul, not the mummy. Move him here so I have assists because of the guard against the mummy and the white. So use one of my Mighty Blow guys on the mummy, see if we can do some damage to him.
Enough to come out on top.
the strength of a fool. Unfortunately, fighting skills of a field bow.
Move this guy around right into his group of guys just to cause some problems, make it more difficult for him to get to my ball carrier. As you can see, my Chaos Dwarves only have 4 movement, same as regular Dwarf linemen. Kind of limits what you can do. So I am in range, and if I go for it twice, I could possibly score right now. I don't really want to score immediately, and like I said, I would like to switch to this other Hobgoblin. It's a little risky. I do have a reroll left. Got some advantageous blocks, so I'll go ahead and try to do first. But it is pretty dangerous being here in this position. Safe thing would be just to have him continue to hold the ball, run down, have the other Hobgoblin cover him for defense. This Hobgoblin only has to go for it once to get into the end zone, if I can get the ball to him, though. I got the advantage of the block, we'll try that. Since I've got the reroll, I'm going to go ahead and get this shot. Okay. Now his ghoul can reach me, get around. So I do have the reroll. Do I take the risk to score? Yeah, why not? Ja. I've had an awful lot of going for it rolls end up in somebody going down. I've had some games where every single attempt I've made and the opponent has made have all failed, even on rerolls. So I'm a little bit more nervous about it in this game than I was in the last one. It just seems like the odds are a little off. It should be a 1 in 6 chance. But like I said, I've had some games where every single time it's failed.
That team's apothecary must have the magic sponge this time. They've kicked the ball to the opponents.
So now, once again, kicking the ball to them. Since I don't know how he's setting up. Well, yeah, we'll continue doing this. Since he's a bruiser team, he's going to try to do something where he can beat down my line from one end to the other, getting assists as he goes. Having the stronger guys on the ends makes that a little bit more difficult. Just to make sure I have my weaker hobgoblins on the field. Yeah, and again, he does not put his mummies on the front line. That's the only time I've ever seen an Undead team do that. Oh, we got a bribe. So I definitely should try to do some fouling if I can. I don't do it that often, more with the hobgoblins actually than in the past. Something about the hobgoblins makes me think of them as players that would foul as much as possible. That's probably from the old fluff from the Blood Bowl descriptions and stuff from 2nd edition that I still have kind of in my head.
Getting fired in the morning.
I was hoping he wouldn't get the reroll. Well, what can we do here? Move him over for the assist, so I can throw a block on the mummy. Just throw some blocks here and see what we can clear out, if anything.
With fists flailing, he's following up, hoping to get the knockdown next time.
So now with this, I have a couple dwarfs free, so I can move him adjacent. Instead of moving him over for the mummy, which would not be a bad idea for the dauntless. But trying to go after the ball here. He's got his white with 4 strength carrying the ball, which is dangerous. I only get as a push, which is unfortunate.
Look at Twinkle Toes there.
Kind of pushing in towards where he's got the ball. I do have to be careful about over-committing in one direction. You could potentially move up, hand it off to the ghoul. Ghoul could run through. But we've got blocks here to try to throw.
Get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
Gonna move my other bull centaur around the line here. And even kind of try to get a little closer to the ball carrier. I haven't had to use my sure feet. Try to get as close as we can. Just to cause some problems. Move the hobgoblin around as well. It's a potential threat. Someone who can pick up the ball if I can ever knock it free. My other hobgoblins I'm kind of using mainly defensively here at this point, just to sort of close up any openings and make things more difficult, keep the tackle zones tight. I don't want to overcommit anywhere, at least not yet.
You got anything cool recorded on your Wizwo box other than old Blood Bowl matches, Jim?
Yes. You know, I'm addicted to that HB. Ow! Sorry to interrupt you. On the edge of the field, within grasp.
So he's going to move in kind of a cage around his ball carrier here. Moving over to the other side of the field, but I still have at least one hobgoblin here free. I can move in that direction if I really need to. He's trying to bust his way through on the right as well.
That one's got fists bigger than ham joints.
Yeah, he's got so many rerolls because of that Halfling Master Chef stealing them from me.
Not this time.
That's disappointing. They're both still standing.
Lucky turn 13. So save things first, then we go for important stuff. Kind of Blood Bowl mantra. So I do have a dwarf free here. My Bull Centaur has a run at the ball carrier, but only with a 1 die. If I can get another Chaos Dwarf on him, I have 2 dice. Make me feel a lot more comfortable.
Decisive. That player went down like a sack of snorting unmentionables.
So this frees up my other dwarf here.
Put some pressure on the ball carrier. Move quicker.
Now I can move my Hobgoblin kind of down just in case first, or I can throw the block and then hope the ball gets loose and then sort of move the Hobgoblin depending on where the ball ends up. Either one is a valid idea. One is much safer than the other, especially since I have no rerolls. So I am going to go for the more safe option of just sort of moving down field. If everything goes worst case scenario, I at least have a way to react to it.
More the merrier.
So I am going to blitz coming in from this direction. This affects where I can move him after I hit him. I don't want to move him in the direction of my end zone if I can avoid it.
Move quicker. All this focus on the ball is against
Now we
the
both
spirit
have
of the
block.
game. Give me more random violence.
So we'll just see what kind of damage we can do, while trying to get my players freed up if I can. I do have block and he doesn't, so this isn't quite as dangerous as it might otherwise appear. Is there anything else I want to do before that? Try to dodge out of here. I can get around in position where I'm just making things more difficult for him to get the ball down the field. So between the players here, I've got this area covered up with tackle zones until somebody gets knocked down anyway. So now I'll go ahead and go for this.
Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
I'm actually not going to follow him up. That way he'll have to blitz with them if he wants to use them. And does free up another dwarf here. We'll start moving this direction. This will keep him from being able to tie up my Hobgoblin with the skeleton. Hopefully he's not going to make it through the area here, but we'll see what he can pull off.
They're building a cage around the wall here. It's a solid tactic.
He's freed up his ball carrier.
The less defenders there are around the ball, the easier it's going to be to move.
With arms like tree trunks, there was only going to be one result in that spot.
Oh, just creeping it forward a little bit. These one-on-one blocks with just one dice where I have block and he doesn't are pretty dangerous for him to be throwing anyway. And again, we're still in a little bit of trouble. It's not too often the AI scores against me, though, actually. I think only one time so far in this season that I've been playing. And I think it was actually Undead that did it. Usually it's more agile teams that can get through, pull off some amazing passes, catches, dodges, that kind of thing. So I certainly have some possible ways to get to the ball carrier. His guard is a problem, though. I think I can only get a straight-up one-die block on him because he has the 4 strength.
Get next to the ball carrier so you can block him. And if that doesn't work, stab him in the face.
So let's see if I can free up another dwarf here.
Unity is strength.
Dull, very dull. One of them should hit harder next time.
So I'm going to go ahead and do the important thing, which is try to hit the ball carrier, even though there's only one die. I don't see another way that I can make it better than that.
Ball in danger.
And of course, attacker down with no rerolls.
Good defensive block.
So let's see what he can do. Yeah, definitely dangerous. Again, throwing a block where I've got the advantage. Don't often see people do that. AI does it fairly often.
With arms like tree trunks, there was only going to be one result in that spat.
Yeah, playing a bruiser team against another bruiser team. Oh, I thought he was blocking the other guy. I wasn't paying attention. Bruiser team versus Bruiser team. If one of them is undead, typically the undead are going to win. Chaos is kind of the same way. They're so tough, so able to just beat up your opponents. It can make things difficult to deal with. But holding my own, and I'm up by 2 points. So even if he scores, I'm still going to win, especially with how much time is left in the game.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
So unfortunately, because this guy has 4 strength and I only have 1 guy available, I can't really throw a block on him. He can get into the end zone if he goes for it once. So my plan is just to kind of get in the way. If he has to go around, he'll have to go for it twice to get into the end zone. It's at least more die rolls he has to make. So my chances of stopping him here aren't real good, unless he does something stupid and gets a turnover.
They're gathering around that lone player. Like
So we'll do what we can. Actually, not following up here. So in case he doesn't score, I will have my Bull Centaur available to do something with. I don't think I can reach him, though, even if he moves out a little bit to get around my Hobgoblin. If I want to be really desperate, I can try to dodge out from here and go for it to end up adjacent to his white. With no rerolls, the chances of that working are not real high, but it is a chance. So why not try for it? Well, the dodge is the more important thing, so you got that. And we have to go for it a couple times. Ah, of course. So unless he really messes up on a block or has a turnover here, he's probably going to score. He might not if he doesn't want to go for it. Yeah, he's going for it. Had to make a dodge roll, have to make a going for it roll, and he scores. That's only the second touchdown scored against me in this entire campaign that I've been playing. "14 games, 2 touchdowns against me. So I think both were undead too, actually. You'd think it'd be the more agile teams. I actually get the ball.
This team needs to remain calm and collected, or else they'll be kicking the ball back to the winning
Kick off
team
return
again.
guy, my movement. So I'm only going to have 1 turn, then he's going to have 1 turn. So I can't score what time is left, but neither can he. So we'll just kind of see what kind of damage I can do to him, if anything. Hey, I actually got a reroll. So my priority kind of is just hurting people right now. Maybe doing a foul. If I get the opportunity.
Big guys is always better than one.
If I just get pushes, it doesn't really help me much.
He won't leave him alone anytime soon.
Yeah, I injured him. Wow.
Must really hurt.
Wasn't this player injured? My
Yeah, he regenerates.
No, he regenerated himself, Bob.
See if we can take this guy out on the edge here. He's staying with 4 strength white, causing me all kinds of problems this game. If he'd be someone I would definitely try to go for a foul on. Move up here, so I don't even really need the Dauntless. I've got 2 dice anyway. Take the mummy down. The mummies would be also players I would go for fouls on.
This big guy should not.
We have a straight up roll here. Might be safer than a foul. Yeah, I've got block and he doesn't. Oh, actually, my Dauntless guys.
The domino effect in action.
Just pushed him around. So with the armor of 8, it's not too likely I can successfully fell the white, but I can give it a shot. It's only a 58% chance. I can't really get anybody else there to help. Well, if I go for it once there, I can assist. Since I can't score anyway,
Loose ball is a
I'll
danger.
do that.
The player needs to secure it and fast.
I can move here, and now we're up to a 72% chance to foul.
What's that?
I do love this animation of the hobgoblins fouling.
Rounded agony, Jim. And here comes
Nothing. Didn't even stun him. Oh well. So this is his last turn. Hopefully he won't do any permanent damage to my team in the process.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich.
Now that's a real mess.
Just hoping for no injuries. I had to use my apothecary earlier to save someone from getting killed, so it's pretty much just taking whatever gets rolled.
I was entertained.
That's it.
What about you, Jim?
Oh, well, you really asked for my opinion. Well,
Oh yeah, that's right, Jim. I forgot. I really don't care what you think.
I rolled a 2. Let's re-roll that, see if we can get more money. I got a 1. Awesome. My fun factor went up, though. It does increase the amount of money you can get from matches, that kind of thing. So I'll take a look at the stats and everything. Ball possession was the same, actually. Occupation's always a little strange. Neither one of us are passing. A few more blocks than he did successful. More KOs and injuries than him. Last time it was sort of the opposite. Almost the same running. Star player points. Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good mix of different guys getting stuff. So this is the final day of the competition. So first place, 7-0. For the second round robin set, first round robin is not included in this. Amazons in second, 5-2. Halflings, 5-2. And then Necromantic, 3-2-2. So these 4 teams will be the ones going into the playoffs. It's just kind of a simple 4-team playoff, so they'll just be one playoff game, and then the people that win those games will go to the final.
are magic sponges really magical, Bob?
That's
So
a
this is the
great
next step.
secret, Jim.
So I'll be playing Necromantic. So I can take a look. So we have Amazons will be playing Halflings, I'll be playing Necromantic. I would rather be playing either one of these two instead of Necromantic. I'm already up to 1930 with my rating, and I've got guys leveled up, so let's see what kind of level ups we get. Just the Bull Centaur, it looks like. So what do we want? Tackle would be nice. Mighty Blow would be nice. Guard might be useful. Juggernaut actually would be pretty useful. Typically, Blitzer type characters, I'm often going block. Most of them start with block, but the Bull Centaurs didn't. Tackle, strip ball, shadowing. Strip ball is usually kind of my second after tackle that I'll often take with Blitzer characters. I think I am going to go ahead and take tackle with him. Strip ball is really tempting as well.
The Bank of Altdorf.
Yeah, let's go strip ball, actually.
There is no safer place for your
Since I have the
mind.
higher strength, I'm always rolling 2 dice. All I need is a push for the strip ball to take
Nobody's
effect.
gonna steal from them.
And now I've got a decent amount of money, so I should do something with it. Anything I do is going to increase my team value, though, unless I just use 3,000 increase coaching assistants and cheerleaders, because anything over 150,000 in your treasury goes towards your team rating. So I'm 30,000 over, So if I just spend that 30,000, whether it be another hobgoblin or just increasing cheerleaders and coaches' assistants, it would just even out as being the same at 1940. That might be 40,000 for a hobgoblin, though. No, I think it was 30. 40, yeah. So it would actually go up by 10 if I buy a hobgoblin. So it'd be 1950 if I got a hobgoblin. So for now, I've got all my players for the playoffs. I'll just go ahead and spend the money to increase my coach assistants and cheerleaders, which will help me on those kickoff results. And then my team value stays the same. I still have a decent amount of money. Kind of saving it in case I need it to replace players who get killed, that kind of thing. So next time, that'll be what we'll be doing, is going to the first game of the playoffs.
Also on tonight's show, big Jobo Harry.
That'll be it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.
Remarkably short tenure as captain of the Greenfield.
Not sure exactly when that'll go up, and depending on the timing and the day, I may end up doing both of those games if I win the first one. I'm kind of expecting I would win, but if I win the first one, then going right into the second one. Sort of depends on the day and what's going on, what I have scheduled. So thank you very much for watching. I do eventually put these up on YouTube as well. I've got the first couple of videos up there right now. And on YouTube, I'm also DisturbingPuppet. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.